A simple bit of advice: get dramatically better at interviews. What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English, here to help you pass your next interview, get your next job and grow in confidence in yourself. I want to share with you a story that came up yesterday working with one of our clients. What she shared with me was that she felt really nervous going into interviews. She's actually had a couple of interviews while she's been with us. She's never progressed on to the next stage. She's very bright, very personable. She actually comes from a consulting background and she has quite a bit of work experience. She is more than capable of passing an interview, but she really struggles. She gets quite nervous, over talks, she says too much. She speaks a bit too quickly, and she'll end up having this obsession that she has to say the right thing. She has to speak out her script word for word. And interestingly enough, we spent half an hour talking, but we didn't talk at all about her answers, what she could do better, because I already knew that there was nothing wrong with her answers, but there was something massively wrong with her mindset and also with a very simple idea that she was missing. Now, nod along if you can identify with this. Since COVID-19 and also the university environment at times can be incredibly isolating. So you sit at home, you study, you go to the library, you study, you see a limited amount of close friends. If you're an international student, you probably speak in your home language. You go to class, if they're even in real life, a lot of them still sometimes can be accessed online. You might have a little part-time job, but a lot of your time is spent alone by yourself. And what that means is that when you get to an interview, it can be incredibly nerve-wracking. You're put into this situation where you're being asked questions that you don't really know what's going on, you're not prepared for. And a lot of people get flustered and they fail interviews, and they do that time and time again. So as I was speaking to this client yesterday, I recommended something which I would recommend for you. And I think it's a fantastic tool. It's something that I've used ever since I've been coaching students since 2013. And this is actually, there were two different things that you can do, but there was a simple core idea behind this, which is you need to encourage yourself to go and have more uncomfortable conversations with people that you don't know. So the chances are in your university class, you might say hello, goodbye, how are you, a little bit of small talk, maybe the same with your housemates, but you're not really engaging in any in-depth conversation. And this is particularly a problem if English isn't your first language, because when you have to do an interview where you're under stress and you're having to answer questions that you may not have come across before, a lot of people just kind of break apart. And they find that once they lose the momentum, they find it really difficult to get started again. So I'd suggest one of two things. The first one is volunteering. For a couple of years, I used to predominantly work with young women. For about 5 years, I would say 80% of the clients that I worked with were between 19 and 25. Young women from Asia. And I used to send them to work at charity shops. And they used to think, when I made that suggestion, a lot of them could be quite anxious. So they were high performing, highly ambitious, high achieving, but they really lacked confidence. They really found it difficult to engage with people. They found it difficult to do small talk, to answer questions of anything more like a yes, no, fine, thank you, that's great, good, how are you? And what would happen is I would watch them go and work in these charity shops. They would be sorting clothes or work on the till. Not very much, mind, maybe 4 hours a week, maybe 8 hours a week, maybe 2 hours a week. I understand that you have a busy life, and so did they. But they loved it and they really blossomed, because I would have to do group training with them every week, and I'd watch them literally sit a little bit taller, smile a little bit more, engage in more small talk, draw in other students into the conversation. Why was that? Well, because they were in an unnatural environment with relatively safe people. A lot of elderly people work, volunteer in charity shops, and they were getting asked lots of questions all the time, like, oh, what do you do? What do you study? Where do you come from? What's it like there? What did you do last night? And what happened was they actually became much more able to sustain unstructured conversations which have random questions, which is kind of like an interview. I realise there's a formatting and a process to answering an interview. and their confidence just skyrocketed. They found interviews so much easier, and they really grew and went on from leaps and bounds. And I'm pretty sure all of those women who, when I look back on it, went and did a little bit of time in a charity shop and engaged in what was initially quite an uncomfortable situation, but in the end they loved it. They also bought all the cool clothes that would come in, and they couldn't believe how cheap they were. They went on to get jobs and pass interviews. And the other thing which I actually said to this client yesterday is I said, go and do some meetups. If you go to meetup.org, which is meetup.org, or is it .com, you can actually find meetings of people in your local area on a wide variety of subjects. It could be on meditation, it could be on a book club, it could be a bar crawl, it could be for rowing. There's all types of different groups of people that meet up, and they'll meet up in a safe place. There'll be an organizer, you'll be able to see who else is coming. And I sent quite a lot of my clients over the last 2 years to go and do meetups, because it was a way to engage with people on a subject that you like. So I've done it before for Chinese language, and have something in common, so you've got a conversation started straight away, but also have an exit plan and begin to engage with people who you didn't know. It's completely unstructured. I never went to a meetup with anybody else. I'd always go by myself. And it was a really good way to challenge myself and to grow my sense of confidence. Because ultimately what it comes down to is, what I said to her last night is I said, look, you can spend as much time as you want sitting at home by yourself, practicing your interview scripts over and over again, reading out your answers over and over again, but nothing is going to get you over your anxiety of people and asking questions as quickly as having the experience of being amongst people, being anxious, and then fighting through the fear and thinking, this is okay. Because of course fear could mean fudge everything and run, or face everything and recover. And I think that is the advice that I'd give to you if you're watching this, if you're struggling with anxiety, struggling with loneliness, struggling with fear, or you just kind of think, God, why do I keep failing interviews over and over again? Push yourself, go and do some volunteering, go to a meetup, go somewhere where you can really start to have difficult conversations with people. And I think you'll really learn to enjoy it, and you'll find it will make a massive difference to your level of confidence in your next interview. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this client insight. If you like more videos like this, please drop me a comment down below. I work with clients every single day, and there's really quite a lot of cool stories that I can tell you to help them overcome these mental blocks. And good luck on your next interview, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.